Okay, so for today's morning movement and meditation, we are kind of playing on what we did yesterday a little bit. Yesterday was more of being an explorer in the space you're in. This is asking yourself, for today's theme, to look at yourself in the eyes of an explorer. So imagine that you just met you. Like that question, would you be friends with yourself if you met yourself? What are your first impressions? What do you communicate? Are you open for conversation or closed to the business of really meeting someone? Are you meeting the world with the air of someone who sees new people with curiosity, or is it closer to indifference? The choice is yours. So today we will work towards being the person that we want, that we would want to meet and be friends with, that we would want to, say hi on the street, meet, greet, and have a conversation. So let's do that first. Start the process with some movement, some breath, and feeling a little more vibrant and energized. So we stand up, bend the knees. We've got our horse stance. Hands come down. We'll do that simple base breathing. Hands come up to the shoulders. Inhale. And we slowly float the hands down. Very similar day to day. We know this, but that's what keeps us coming back and also not too frustrated or concerned with what we're doing. We know what to expect, and it gives us the opportunity to check in, to see where we are, to notice ourselves, our breath, our bodies, each and every morning. That deep breath feels pretty good as it starts to ignite the little sensors in the body through the toes, all the way up through the fingers and the head. Keep the knees bent. Again, we're getting into those legs for strength. And last, slow exhale. Float those hands down. And we'll look over the right shoulder, stretching out the neck just above the shoulders, and then look over the other shoulder. Bring your head back to center. We could do, let's go chin to chest. You can go side to side just to feel the back of the neck. If you're feeling safe, good, healthy, maybe a full rotation. Just be mindful of that looking up so we don't compress any spinal vertebrae. Shoulders draw back. And we bring the head back up to the center. We'll do some arm rotations. So moving down the body, make fists with the arms, the hands. Your arms come in and around all the way across. That first one might be a little slow. Just check in on it. And then we might get faster. And switch directions. Again, the first couple might be slow as we ease into it. And bring it down. Good. And we're moving down to waist twists. So from shoulders going down to the waist, hands just off the hips, and rotate. Elbows and shoulders forward and back. While keeping your toes rooted, heels grounded, knees bent, hips pointed forward. All of these movements, these warm-up movements, it's take it slow at first, check in, and then get into it as you progress. I think I could stay here for like 5 more minutes, but I won't. So let's slow out of that, ease out of that. Open those arms, reaching, pressing the elbows, hands press back to the hands, pressing towards the back wall. Exhale, side bend. One hand comes across and one hand comes over. Inhale again, reach, goalpost arms. Exhale, side bend. Find more length through the outside as you lift through the inside edge. Inhale, lift up. 2 more. Exhale, full, strong exhale. Last one. Now reach up. Take the hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers. Squeeze the shoulder blades together or grab the wrists, whatever works for you. Press down, straighten the legs. Let's try this. Bend the knees a little. Forward fold. Whoa, first time getting into the legs. So you might bend the knees even more as you move side to side in the hands and the shoulders, like you're dipping your right shoulder, then your left shoulder down towards the floor. And then rising back up, bend the knees a little more, lift up. Release the hands. Whew, energized. Let's get into those legs. Step 1, foot back. Knee at first. Knee comes up. And maybe it's a kick. Maybe. Straight leg. Look to where you're going. And switch. Other leg. Starting with the knee. Balance. If you ever find yourself on a squishier floor, just know that it's not your balance, it's the floor. But carpet and squish floor, it does make you actually stronger. So that's good. Okay, we're done with that. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down. Okay, we're moving on. So from there, we go to our sun salutations or some standing poses to get into some of those bigger muscles and also just to reconnect breath, body, and movement together. So we'll step to the top of the mat or the top of the place that you are. So no mat even required. Feet stay hip distance. Palms forward. So let's feel those toes press down and notice the big toe to pinky toe, equal weight, and then back to the heel. So like a little triangle, and each foot presses down. Engage through the legs so you lift up. Imagine your body lifting up, the quads maybe engaging to lift up the legs. Abs just slightly in, nothing too intense. So you keep the pelvis neutral. Shoulders roll down and back in sort of a relaxed way. Hands can be facing you or facing forward. And see if we can lengthen through the back of the body, the spine, the neck, like someone's pulling a string from the top of your head. This is called mountain pose or Tadasana. You should feel strong, sturdy. No wind will blow you over. And then facing those palms forward, external rotation in the arms. Reach those hands up. Inhale, connect the hands at the top, look up. Extended mountain pose. Now reach a little higher. Take another inhale. Then exhale, open those arms, diving down. Hinge at the hips. We'll do a slow journey coming down. Slow, slow, slow. Notice those knees as they bend when you lower. So instead of getting round in the upper back, you're going to keep the back pretty flat. And focus more on, getting into the fold by easing into the hamstrings. Bend the knees. Then lengthening halfway, hands on the shins. Gaze at the top of the mat and feel that flat back. Then plant those hands down, step the feet back, both feet, and shift your upper body forward into plank pose. Plank pose. Elbows face the back of the room. Knees can be down or up. For this first one, I typically do knees down. We do a tricep push-up. Shifting your upper body forward, bend the elbows. Gaze forward just beyond the front of the mat. Straighten the arms as you slide your heart forward. Shoulders roll back. So you might even feel your wrists a little more here. First time on the hands. Today anyway. Look down, tuck the toes under, and lift the hips. Downward dog. A little movement, pedal the feet. And before we get to our next one, let's first take the knees down. Let's come into a tabletop or a 4-point base position. Hands walk back underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And we'll do cat and cow, a little bit more spinal work. So we arch the back, even dipping the chest down, rolling the shoulders back, look forward or slightly up. Then round the back and exhale, pull the belly in, tuck the chin. And let's go back and forth, cat and cow. So typically you inhale as you arch and look up, and exhale as you run and look down. But you can do either breath for either direction. Let's see if we can find any little stuck points or places or a way to get a little bit deeper at the end of the breath. Whether it's between the shoulders or maybe it's, a little bit more tilt in that lower back. If this ever hurts the wrist, you just come onto your fist, that works. Or some books or blocks underneath the hands to shift your body weight back into the legs. And bring it back to more of a neutral position. We'll try a little balance here. Let's take that right leg straight back. Ooh. Abs up and in so you get the straight line. Flex that right foot and reach that left hand forward. Balance. Spread the right fingertips wide. This is all we're doing, just a little balance. It's the hold. And then lower that down. So it's just a few breaths. Switch sides, other leg goes straight back. Try to find this activation, this length, press, and full expression of the pose, your fullest expression. And then reach with that right hand. Spread the left fingertips wide. Keep a little bend in that left elbow. And then lower that back down. Nice job. So walk the hands forward, just a little. Tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back. Walk your feet to the top of the mat. Lift up halfway, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Rising up, you look forward, open up the arms, reach up, bend the knees until you stand up tall. Then bring your hands down to your heart, connected in the hands. And bringing ourselves back to being an explorer in our own body, in our own life. So are we who we want to be? Let's do this next sun salutation in a way that best reflects, who we want to show up as. So maybe it's with a smile on your face or a welcoming, energetic affirmation or thought. So we reach up, inhale, exhale, forward fold. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, plant the hands down, step those feet back, however many steps it takes. Plank pose. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, hug the elbows to the ribcage, chaturanga. Press your heart forward, up dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, using that core strength to draw those hips up and back. Flipping over the toes, heels pressed down. Take a few breaths in this down dog. Good. Bend your knees, look forward, step, or maybe you're ready to hop forward to forward fold. Half lift, inhale, exhale, all the way down. Rise up, inhale. Connect those hands and bring them down to your heart. Awesome. So we're going to step the feet wide and get into just a couple standing poses just from stepping back. So step wide, step back, wherever that is for you. We go pretty wide. So take one toe, one foot, check it out, whichever foot you want. Turn it. That will be now the front. So your foot's turned out, that's now the front, bend the knee. Warrior two. Wow, had a couple pops in there. Reach those arms long. Soft shoulders. And the back foot, the heel spins a little farther back. We keep the hips open. It's a lot of activation in the lower body. Good, reaching long. Flip that front palm. Reach straight up. Other hand goes down the back leg, nice and soft. Reverse warrior. I like warrior poses. They create and emulate strength and empowerment. Ready to take on the day. Lift up, take an inhale, warrior two. And simple, take that front elbow to the thigh or the knee. Reach that opposite hand straight up. Look up. Bend maybe a little deeper into that front knee. And keeping that top hand straight up, straighten that front leg. We'll try it. Hand comes down to the shin now. Straighten the body, lengthen through both sides of the waist, triangle pose. And if it ever bothers your neck to look up, then look down towards the other hand. Good, we'll do a big arm rotation circle to get out of this. So you take that top hand, reach forward, long as you can, down and around, bend that front knee, rise up. Switch sides, lengthen through the front leg, pivot to the other side. This is now the front leg. The other leg is now the front. Level the hips so that back hip isn't popping up. Warrior two. Press through the pinky toe of the bent knee, the front knee side. Gazing forward at the front fingertips. Let's flip that front hand. This time reverse warrior, other side. Back hand slides down that back leg. So we're not leaning way back. In fact, we're going more straight up with a little bend in the body. Back to warrior two, lift and inhale. A lot of length through the fingertips. Exhale, let's take it to that side angle. So a straight line from the crown of the head to the back heel. Rather than getting the hips bumped up, let's bring them down. You might need to bend that front knee a little more, or even come up onto your hand if that's helpful. Look up. Soft shoulders, strong in the lower body. Squeeze those heels together. See what happens when you try to draw things together. Your hamstring comes alive. Back leg feels it. Good, now straighten that front leg. Hand on the shin. Little micro bend in that knee. It's always keeping it safe. Look up. Again, if that gets a little uncomfortable for the neck, start to look down. Arm circle to get out of this. Reach that top arm forward, down and around. Lift up. Straighten the leg, pivot the feet parallel to one another. Hands on the hips. Take a deep breath in. One more thing we do, one forward fold, wide forward fold. Hands come down. So however you get into this fold or however you feel here, stay in a point where, you're feeling just enough. No need to force into anything crazy. So wide forward fold. Bent knees, always good too. So from this wide forward fold, take one more deep breath. And come out just a little bit so the hands press into the floor. Maybe walk them forward. You're going to heel toe those feet in just a bit. Take one knee down, other knee down. And if you need to turn, you turn towards, whichever direction you want to face. Or maybe if you're facing already the direction you want to be, simply sit. Cross the legs in a comfortable pose. So it can be lotus pose, sukhasana, or easy pose, or what's best for you. You could also sit on your heels. We come into this pose to find a bit of relaxation, but at the same time, contemplation, meditation, all similar, slightly different. So our meditation today is to come back to ourselves. Today we'll do a little bit of manifesting, and manifesting means thinking of what you want to attract, thinking of how you want to be, mostly thinking about the feelings that you want to portray in yourself and the feelings that you want others to have when they meet you. Would you want to meet yourself on the streets? So let's sit, keeping your eyes closed or gently looking down. Start to bring your awareness back to your breath at first. Notice it coming in slow through the nose. Gentle inhale, gentle exhale with no effort. And then begin to imagine that you're walking on the street, on a sidewalk. It's a nice day. And then you see yourself coming towards you. How is it that you would want this person, this other you, to react or to be while you passed? Does this other you become more open? Do they smile? Do they cross the street? Do they say hello? And what kind of energetic vibrations or feelings do you get from this other you when you meet? Keep replaying that scenario until you come up with a situation or a version of you that you would definitely feel comfortable with. So we begin to think about how we are going to show up and how we want to attract others into our lives. Let's begin to bring a little more awareness through the body, a little wiggle of the fingers and the toes. But you can stay seated for just a bit longer. Take a deeper breath. You can keep the eyes closed or eyes open as I share this way to bring this practice out into the world. So rather than thinking of just yourself, think about this practice with the people that are closest to you, like your spouse, partners, children, friends. After you've decided what another person is all about, quite often we put judgment into concrete and don't allow them to grow out of it. This is what's creating what is currently called cancel culture. So today, put a fresh pair of glasses on. Make it a day of first meetings with those that you love. So try that. We'll take your hands, reach up together, sealing it all in. Bring those hands to touch at the top, and then hands come down to your heart. Take one deep breath, thumbs to heart center, and exhale it all out. So bring peace in and bring peace out, and have a lovely day. Namaste.